Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of CaliBased. I'm so happy you could join me. Thank you for being here. And I have another special episode. I have another guest, another awesome guest. It was actually the person that was on Tucker with me, my lawyer, the wonderful Tracy Henderson. I can't even explain to you guys how big of an experience it is that I shared with this perfect stranger. And now we are like, we're like homies now. We shared a bonding moment. So let me bring her in and we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff tonight. We have tons of stuff to get into, particularly California school crap. Yeah, I didn't have time to spruce it up, so I apologize about my appearance tonight. I know I'm a little shabby looking tonight, but we're going to get it done. Let's bring in Tracy. Here we go.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to be here. I owe you everything. So.
Oh, you kidding me? You helped me cross off a bucket list, and you said it so well because we were perfect strangers. We're standing in the parking lot of the studio to go on Tucker together, and we've never met. It was so amazing.
But it was such like a important thing that happened. All of a sudden, we had to react, and yeah, it was very cool how we came together in that moment. And yeah, we definitely became homies. And I'm fascinated with what you're doing for the state because we are under siege. What is happening in our schools?
You want me to answer that question?
No, we'll I have a whole bunch of things that I want you to react to. But
okay.
We'll react. We're gonna start off. I mean, we're gonna start off with what everybody wants to talk about. Of course, I'm gonna have actually. It's a twofer. It's a 2-for-1. What we were just talking about. It's Trump reacting to Tucker Carlson. Did you see his video yet?
No, lay it on me.
All right, so let's check this out. And it's very Trumpy as well. It's everything you'd expect. It's perfectly fitting, but there is even like a funny moment in there where it's very Trump and you're kind of like, oh God, but well,
see, I'm biased because I love Trump. I think he's authentic.
Exactly right.
No, he is. He is. I do too. I do think he's authentic, and yeah, I think a lot of people's perspective is changing on him, especially with all the Russiagate was fake. All the Russia stuff was fake. Like even the liberals are realizing now. All right, well here, let's listen to how Trump reacted to. You watched Tucker's episode yesterday. We talked about that.
Yeah, you told me to. So I did.
All right. Well, this is Trump reacted to Tucker's video.
Tucker Carlson, a very good guy, is exactly right. The number one reason the totally corrupt Biden administration and the sick Washington establishment are after me is because I stand up to their failed foreign policy agenda. The one thing Washington cannot forgive is that I put America first, always put America first. I could never help it. I have to do that in order to make America great again. I reject their foolish and disastrous foreign wars, their horrific globalist trade deals, their open border catastrophes,
Him saying I reject their foreign wars, like that's the most dangerous thing right there.
Corruption of our intelligence system, and it's never been more corrupt, and all of the other betrayals of the American people. Most recently, the warmongers, globalists, and deep staters are absolutely livid that I refuse to bend the knee to their next endless war in Ukraine. I want peace. They want money and they want conflict. Even if it means walking us into the brink of World War III, frankly, it is doing, and it's doing it rapidly. I want people to stop dying. I want to end that war. I'll end that war between those two countries in 24 hours. It won't even take that long. I will get the war ended. I'll stop all of those lives from being wasted and lost. And there'll be no more bombing of Ukraine. There'll be no more bombing of Russia. And everybody will be happy. That's why, despite the massive criminality and corruption of the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, and all the rest, None of them ever get indicted or ever get investigated. They're totally protected by a fake and disgusting system. But I did everything right, and the system tries to throw me right into a jail. They can't beat me at the ballot box, so they're out there trying to take me out by other means. Anything.
Sorry, that was the really Trumpy part. Right into a jail. That just it totally got me. It's like, sorry.
They can think of. These people don't love our country. As I've said before, if I renounce my beliefs or if I stayed silent, the persecution would stop. If I didn't run for office or if I wasn't leading by a lot, it would all end very nicely. I'd have a much easier life. But I can't do that, and I won't do that. The fact is that we're leading by a lot because they're doing a bad job. We're leading Ron DeSanctimonious by 40 points, and we're leading Joe Biden by 10, 11, 12, by a lot. I'm going to take on all of the forces that are trying to destroy this country, and I'm going to win for you. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. Thank you very much.
All right, Tracy.
I love him. And what I love the most about him is he's unapologetically confident and he tells the truth. He touts himself unapologetically over and over. And he does it to the point where, okay, I'm going to listen to that again. Doesn't it irritate me? What do you say? I agree with everything he said. There's nothing really to talk about.
It's dangerous. What's
dangerous about it? What?
No, I'm not disagreeing with anything he's saying. It's dangerous for him. It's the same reason. I don't know if you saw Joe Rogan and RFK. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Joe Rogan basically asked RFK if he was concerned about, the CIA taking him out, essentially. Like, hey, look what happened to your uncle and your dad.
And I think he should be concerned. I think RFK should be concerned.
He said he is. He said, yeah, it's definitely a thought, but he's like, I'm not going to let it, scare me and all that kind of thing. But I think this is the same thing. Like, Trump's anti-war. Like, that's the one thing, the uniparty, they already hate Trump, but him being anti-war and coming out, like, they're going after him big time. Oh, but by the way, your homie Cassie Aluza says what's up.
Hi, Cassie. Honestly, I don't think Trump has to fear for his life. I absolutely don't think the CIA or the FBI is going to dare do that. Personally, I think RFK has more risk than Trump does. I think people are scared of Trump. But I'm not in that world. I'm not in the FBI.
You're on the wrong show, Tracy.
Well, you need to be interviewing one of my board members, James Bradley. Seriously, who ran for Senate. He lives in that world. He works with the Mexican president. He's helping get people out of Ukraine. That's the person you should have react to that.
Well, that video just popped up today, and he was talking about Tucker's. So I had to at least show it. It came up right. I saw it right before the show started, so I had to at least show it to you and get your reaction on it.
Yeah, so, I'm in love with him. I think he's amazing. He is a complete disruptor, and we needed that in our country. Nothing is the same after him, and it's going in a positive direction. The only thing that I think about when I think about Trump's election is, what are we going to do to stop the cheating? I mean, 80 million people voted for Biden, my ass.
There's plenty of legitimate complaints you can make about Trump, though.
What? You might go ahead, make one. What?
Wasn't he supposed to drain the swamp? And he basically surrounded himself with the swamp.
So he made bad. Okay,
Snowden.
So he made bad decisions in some of his advisors.
Mm-hmm. Didn't pardon Snowden. Didn't pardon Assange. The continued war in Yemen. Printed trillions of dollars. His continued support for the vaccine.
That's stuff. In my world, he's has trouble getting past that one.
That's rough.
Honestly, yeah. In my world, in the parents' rights world, with trying to force the jab on our kids and all that stuff, he pushed at warp speed. And how did he, the leader of the free world, not see that it was what it was when I, just a small town country lawyer, saw what it was?
It's his ego. He can't, it's because it was my Operation Warp Speed. He can't let it go. Yeah. I think that's really what it is. My biggest draw to Trump is that, from my perspective, is he's the biggest anti-establishment person that's out there, including over RFK. RFK still wants to work within the establishment. I want to see Trump come in and, start burning shit down. I don't think he will, but it'd be nice. Again, my flag is black. I'm not voting, but we'll get into the stuff that
is black and you're not voting. That's the problem. Everybody thinks it's not going to work if you go vote. You have to get off the couch and vote. And then you have to get people in your community to go watch the polls to make sure nobody cheats. It's the only way this is going to change. And then we have to do ballot harvesting as conservatives. Come on, you're voting. I'm driving your ass to the polling station. I'm serious. You got to vote. And you're an influencer now. You cannot take the position of not voting. We're changing that, Michael.
I don't know. Hey, I'll give you all the time in the world to change my mind. I'll give you that. I'm definitely open to always changing my mind, but I was definitely very black-pilled from this whole last experience. I mean, it was
so think about this. Newsom, okay? Newsom has destroyed California. He's a complete idiot.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
calling you out, Newsom. You're a complete idiot, and I'd love to debate you because you're a complete idiot. But 25% of Republicans did not get off the couch, even though he's a complete idiot. You got to get off the couch and go vote.
Did you see how the California Republicans just voted about the Adam Schiff censure crap?
And you know what? In my circle, everybody's going, Kevin, Kylie, what?
Exactly. Kylie. And there's a few other people that Kylie is the only one that I really was. So the only one that I'm actually like considering, like, okay, let me hear these guys out, is because Massey voted against it. And they're saying it's unconstitutional because they wanted to fine him $16 million. So I just had I just had this really cool guy named Clint on my last episode. He was talking about it, and he was, they're saying it's unconstitutional because they wanted to fine him $16 million. And Clint's perspective is like, okay, well, what's the punishment then? Do we put him in prison? Because there's got to be a fine. It's essentially treason, is what he's saying. He straight up said that essentially Trump is a Russian agent for 4 years, and he has proof of it. Like, he's on video saying, nope, I've seen the proof. I can't really talk about it right now, but so yeah, what is the punishment? So I don't really know I don't know what my stance is on that one.
Punishment needs to fit the crime. I mean, I think he should be taken out of his position of power. I think that would hurt him the most. I mean, does he have $16 million? Because if he does, it wouldn't hurt him. But I'm really, at this point in time, if you don't have a constitution, you're not fortified, and you don't stand up for what you believe in 100% without fault, I don't have time for you. We are in the fight of our lives for this country. And so Kevin Kiley didn't vote against Adam Schiff. We just elected you. What are you doing? And what's funny, Michael, is there's parties happening this weekend. He's coming to California, and I've got people asking him that question. So I'm going to give my answer.
Well, it's also, you got one party that's playing by the rules, that's trying to, drive the speed limit, as they say. But then you got the Democrats that'll play every dirty trick in the book, like beyond dirty. And I'm not saying you got to break the rules and play dirty, but maybe I am, I don't know.
I'm not a politician, but what I do know is that we absolutely have to ballot harvest. I don't like it. It's unethical, but we have to do it. And we also have to stop the infighting in any group. Because the Democrats, even though they can't stand each other and go at each other on national television, they'll get behind a candidate to a fault, to the death. And we don't do that. We fight with each other. We take each other down internally. And we're losing because of it. The Patriots versus the rhinos in the conservative side of the world.
And don't forget about the libertarians. Everybody that is, somewhat to the right of Bernie Sanders is now pushed on that team. And nobody can get along.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, it's really sad. There's a parents' rights coalition in the state of California that was started by California Family Council. And there's a group in there that's defaming our organization, and they won't engage because of that. And that was just a waste. We should have collaborated. It's complete waste. We need to stop it.
Well, there's certain people on the left that are just, they immediately will not work with anyone. But let's talk about some school stuff. I got a quick clip I want to show you and just get your reaction. And I'm sure you'll have a story after it, because this is happening everywhere, I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to go over here to Robbie Starbuck on Twitter. Stand by really quick. Yeah, so this is just a quick clip of something that happened in a high school in Huntington Beach. So parents of kids at Henderson High School in Huntington Beach, California, say the video was played to their kids in the math class. The kids clearly didn't want to watch the Pride video, so the teacher threatened them with Saturday school to get them to watch it. I don't know if you've seen this one.
Yeah.
Why are you starting with the kids? Hey, I'll warn you guys now, if you're going to be inappropriate, I will have supervision down and give all of you a Saturday school for next year. So knock it off. Okay.
So even the kids have had it, Tracy.
Yeah, it's that is porn. That violates California law.
Talk to me about that.
Let me just read this to you, okay?
Yeah.
A person is guilty of sexual exploitation of a child if he or she knowingly duplicates, prints, or exchanges or promotes any representation of information that depicts a person under the age of 18 years engaged in the act of sexual conduct. California Penal Code Section 311.3. This is porn and obscene. It has what the parents in that classroom should do, and I don't know if I've actually talked to that group or not, but what they should do is they should file a complaint against that teacher's credential, because a teacher's credential is at risk if you break an actual law. And I just read you the Penal Code Section 311.3 that she broke. Get her fired. That teacher needs to go. We don't need porn in our schools. What's the what is the value of that? What was she trying to teach?
Well, so you're a fan of James Lindsay, you say, right?
Lindsey Graham, Patriot.
James Lindsay. Did you ever listen to James Lindsay?
Oh yeah, James Lindsay. He's amazing. Yeah.
Right. So it's not that she's trying to teach anything, like in anything at all, really. She's trying to use whatever teaching mechanism she can, whether it's math or, English, grammar, or whatever, to introduce one of these topics. So it's like a Trojan horse to bring this in. Yeah, like they're trying to do is push this agenda. It really is a thing.
Well, you and I know that they're trying to over-sexualize our children. They're grooming them. That is the bottom line. You're seeing it in the legislative bills. You saw it right there. But I would like them to defend it. That was a rhetorical question. What is the value of showing children, other children having sex? Does it turn you on? I mean, it's gross. There is no value, and she needs to go. So I would strongly encourage every parent in that class to file a complaint against their teacher credential. And if you go to CaliforniaParentsUnited.org on the call to action page, we link right to the CTC complaints, and the directions are extremely clear. Let's get her fired.
CaliforniaUnited.org.
CaliforniaParentsUnited.org. That's our nonprofit. California Parents Union is a 501c4. We're a more political organization, but on the CaliforniaParentsUnited.org in the call to action under holding educators accountable, it links right to it.
All right. So everybody if you're a parent that has a kid in school in California, they should at least visit your website, right?
Oh, we need to get to 500,000 members, Michael. We are building a special interest group for parents. Think of it like the counter the point counterpoint to the California Teachers Association. We need to be bigger than them. We charge $25 a year. So because we need dough, the truth is it's the way it works in the game is money in numbers. So I have 4 houses. I'm not going to take the money and buy 4 houses like BLM did. So I don't need the money. I work for free. I have a very thriving.
I can attest to the fact that she worked for free for me, guys.
Well, no, I work for free. No, I work for free as the founder of California Parents Union, but I have a thriving law practice, so I don't need the money.
But I want to really actually go out on the limb for you there, because she really did help me out, and you have no idea how much you did, and you didn't need to do that. So you're much more trustworthy of BLM is all I'm trying to say.
Well, but Michael, you got me on Tucker. I owe you my life. So I think it was an even trade.
I would have felt less comfortable on there if you weren't sitting next to me. I really would have.
Really?
I really think I would have not done as well, even though I feel like I sucked on that. But
you did not suck. You did not. You did not suck. This is your validation. Tucker said we made him want to move back to California. We were authentic. We had a real exchange with him. It was a moment, Michael, and you were great. No,
I only went back and watched it once, and it was right after right after we went on there, and we got like the playback footage. I went and watched it one time. It's pinned on my Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. I still haven't watched it again because I'm so embarrassed.
No, you were just, that was a high energy situation. You were just fired.
My mic wasn't working. Remember? My mic was buzzing out in my ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I have another clip I want to show you.
Okay.
But California Parents Union, you guys go to CaliforniaParentsUnion.com.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Everybody go to CaliforniaParentsUnion.com, scroll around, check it out, sign up, become a member, all that kind of stuff. And they can find you on Twitter, right, as well?
Yeah, and then when we're working on funding to hire our legislative director full-time. I don't know if you've seen Cassia Williams at the Capitol, but she's everywhere. She's storming the Capitol. She was there for 957.
I don't think you should say that word. I think you should say that exact phrase on the show.
In a good way.
Might maybe freak out the algorithms a little bit. You just really have to come on here and say storm the Capitol. Hey, I'm sorry, FBI agents that are watching. She's just joking, guys.
I meant she's everywhere all the time, and she's doing great things.
There you go. Nobody's storming the Capitol, FBI, you freaking jerks.
I am so glad I didn't go to January 6th.
Yeah, me too.
I almost did. Did you almost go?
Not really. I wanted to go, but I had no means of going. I had to work and all that crap.
Oh, okay.
But I watched the whole thing live. I was at, I think I could say this. I was at an Apple campus. I was at Infinity Loop. I was at an Apple campus doing work, watching it, like on lunch. Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm with one of my friends, Josh, who's one of us. And I was like, and all of a sudden I opened my phone and the Ashley Babbitt clips are going around. I'm all, holy shit, Josh. And and I broke it to the whole crew, like, holy shit, because that was the first clip that started going wild. And speaking of, hey, you said storm the Capitol. So I have to show you, is my screen, oh, it's not even being shared right now. Is it? Yeah. So I got to show you this clip and how CNN is trying to frame this. So I remember out in Glendale, those protests out in Glendale.
Yeah.
All right. So look how CNN framed this one.
The Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, some of whose members stormed the Capitol on January 6th, are some of the same groups targeting LGBTQ+ events. Earlier this month, authorities say Proud Boys members showed up at a drag queen story hour in San Lorenzo, California, shouting transphobic slurs.
These people should be put.
San Lorenzo, California. That's right on. And then look at this clip that they show. And this, all right, tell me this dude ain't a Fed.
Really? This is CNN?
Yeah, this is CNN. This is CNN doing this clip. But look, I don't know who this guy is, but he's like, some white supremacist Nazi guy that's like a legit like saying Nazi stuff. And they try to tie him with the Glendale protesters that are all Armenian. So
I know.
There, let me go back a little bit.
Should be put to death.
That sentiment echoed in Texas, but this
Did you hear
time in a
that?
sermon
Okay.
at a church.
What did he say? What did he
The
say?
Drag Queen Story Hour in San Lorenzo, California, shouting transphobic slurs.
These people should be put to death.
That sentiment echoed in Texas, but this
So he says people in San Lorenzo, California, shouting racist and homophobic slurs or whatever he says. And then they cut to that clip as if that's the clip from San Lorenzo, California.
And the
Time in a
saddest part is people are going to fall for this. Dumb CNN watchers. I'm sorry, but if you watch CNN, there's a challenge with you already.
So
sermon at a church outside of Dallas.
They should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head.
The Proud Boys and Oath Keepers,
So that's what that's how they're trying to portray this. This is what actually happened. You can see this, right?
Okay, yeah.
So this is like helicopter footage.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So they got into it. It's a tussle for sure. And there's people behaving badly, like this guy in the gray here. He's dropping elbows.
Wow.
Yeah, they got into
it. Do you know what started that fight? Who threw down first? Like, because you're not just standing there, they're not going to start fighting. Somebody was triggered. Like somebody was probably provoked.
For sure. That's how all these things are. You know what this is? Were you paying attention to all this crap back when like Ben Shapiro was touring Berkeley campuses? Like college campuses, I'm sorry.
No.
So like back in like 2015 when it was Trump Hillary, all the stuff we're seeing on the streets now, it was all happening on college campuses. And it was because guys like Ben Yiannopoulos, Steven Crowder, they were all doing college tours. And like the college students were protesting. Well, now it's freaking 8 years later or 6 years later, right? 6 years? Yeah. Like now these people are in industry, in tech. They're out in the real world. This shit if Brett Weinstein
like this. There was so this doctoring of the video, this defamation is a thing. And it seems to be a thing with the leftists. And I hate to say it, but some of like the BLM types, they're doing
it. Didn't DeSantis just do it? Didn't DeSantis just do like an AI video against Trump?
Did he?
That's what I heard. I don't know.
What I'm referring to is in Temecula. Did you see the video of the giant white guy that looks like a lumberjack talking to a little black girl? Did you see that one? Brian,
you sent me the link. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I sent you that. Did you use that?
I did a little bit on. Yeah, I talked about it on my show.
Okay, so
early episode.
Okay,
episode.
You see that was a completely doctored video. So now CNN, our newscasters who are supposed to be are doctoring videos. We're screwed. Everybody should just sign up for Tucker on Twitter and turn everything else off.
Well, no, you want to see what they're doing. But I mean, and don't just listen to Tucker either. Like there's plenty. Watch my show. Come on, give me what the hell?
Of course, you
shut it down, guys.
Yeah, you, Stu Peters, Steve Hilton. But I was talking about the major, nightly news. Don't watch any of it. Just only Tucker and Michael.
In my heart. God, Tracy.
Come on, you know what I mean. I mean the big news.
Yeah, I got another. This is like a more close-up clip from that Glendale incident. So yeah, I mean, and it really was a bunch of like mainly Armenian parents, because that's like, Glendale, Pasadena area. And yeah, there's a lot of Armenian people out there. And
I don't condone violence as a conflict resolution mechanism, but I'm telling you, it feels good that finally somebody shut them up. Us going to school board meetings and speaking out against it, the school board members just look at us and just sit there. They said, we're not having this, and they stopped it. It's
I
effective. I don't condone it, but it was effective.
I don't condone unwarranted violence, but I do condone violence when it is warranted. That's another conversation. Here, check this clip out.
Well, it might have. That's what I was asking what the trigger was, because it might have been warranted. It might have been self-defense.
Yeah, you can't really tell from this clip, but it usually is. I mean, this is a leftist tactic. Leftists are so meek and vulnerable that if they ever tried to get into, you see the actual conflicts they get into when it actually goes to a physical conflict. You just see the people on the right tossing little soy boy leftists around left and right. It's how it always goes. But that's the tactic. They want to provoke until you attack and then play the victim. Oh, look what they did to me.
Yeah, that's like the Brian Hawkins thing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's how you end up with freaking not being able to use your arm anymore because Kyle Rittenhouse had a rifle and you had a pistol. Oh, I went.
Well, if we have to go 1776, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty.
Oh, you just went Alex Jones, Pierce Morgan right now. 1776, rise again.
I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. It's in my DNA.
Well, I'm glad you did. That was a classic clip right here. You see the cops? It's always the cops that are more violent than anyone.
Yeah, he's carrying him around.
Look at all these white supremacists, Tracy. And look. So this guy, he's there with a helmet on, right? So if you're coming to a protest against parents that are protesting their kids in school stuff, why are you coming there with a helmet on ready for combat? So that's what happens. It's all these black clad, I hate saying Antifa, but it is. They are Antifa, but it's like, it's so boomerish to say that, but it is those little assholes. And yeah, that's what they do. And yeah.
What's interesting to me, Michael, is I live in Northern California, and I just learned that there's 32 million people in Southern California and 10-ish here. We don't really have the Antifa problem. I did a rally in Santa Monica. I haven't ever at a rally experienced it. In Santa Monica, though, we were told to bring milk because of bear spray, wear giant boots and that's Glendale, that's Southern California. When have you seen an Antifa situation out here in NorCal?
The George Floyd stuff, Oakland and San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Well, Oakland
was wild. Oakland I was watching live helicopter footage of the George Floyd riots.
Really?
And oh yeah. And so in San Leandro, I don't know if you know this, in San Leandro, they broke into one of the Dodge dealerships. And the Dodge showrooms, they got all like the Hellcats and the Hemis, like the flipped out cars, the showroom cars. They broke into the showroom, got the keys, and they broke those bitches out. They were driving brand new like Hemi Chargers and shit, rallying them around. Oh, it was wild. And this is all just like live helicopter footage. And I'm just watching it on my phone. Just like, oh my God.
Did you get alerts on this stuff, or did you just,
No, so that's why I'm lucky, because I started going down these rabbit holes before all the crap started getting censored. So I started following all these people before it was impossible to figure out who they are. And now it's like the only people that are really well known are guys like Tim Pool. And the reason Tim Pool's so well known is because I don't even know if Tim Pool knows this, but back in the day, if you watched Alex Jones on YouTube, you got recommended Tim Pool videos. You just did. It was like Tim Pool was linked, and so was the Young Turks. That's what was weird. The Young Turks, and they're like completely opposite from Alex Jones, right? But they actually had a lot of overlap. Pre-Trump, Hillary, all that crap, there was some overlap in opinions. They were both kind of anti-establishment. It's just, it's gotten so weird. But yeah, anyway, Tim Pool was linked with Alex Jones. He would get recommended if you watched Alex Jones on YouTube. So I started like just watching YouTube content back in like 2012, 2013, like actually earlier than that, like 2010, like, consistently, where I was like this is where I get my media now, Vice News, all that kind of crap. And
see, even you don't go to the main news stations. You get your content from YouTube. See?
Well, I never did. Yeah, I didn't even watch Tucker. I watched the Tucker clips that came on and stuff like that. I love Tucker now because you can just see the difference between the establishment media and, alternate media. Tucker's the same person. He's just saying what he always wanted to say now. And it's like, holy shit, he's dropping bombs.
No, I think he was pretty straightforward. I don't think he's changed that much. I mean, he's going for really hardcore, risky things now, but he was out there with the jab. He was out there with January 6th. He was out there with all of it.
Right. But did you watch his last one? Like,
yeah,
he just dropped nukes from orbit on the entire establishment. Like, he just put Fox News on blast about the whole thing. And like, think about what they're threatening with. Like, he's technically not even supposed to be doing these episodes, according to Fox News. You know what I mean?
Well,
He's still under contract. You tell me.
He's got a lawyer. I don't. There's a book. There's a book out about what happened. Before I comment on anything, I'm going to read the book. But all I know is that he's got a lawyer, and he hired a very high-powered entertainment lawyer, I believe, out of Los Angeles. So he's fine. They're in the wrong. What Fox has become is the deep state. They're trying to silence her during the election. Yep. And he's saying, nope, sorry, I'm not playing that. Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, Michael, my husband and I are walking our talk. We are not watching Fox at all. One of our favorite shows is Gutfeld. Not even watching Gutfeld.
That sucks. Yeah, it sucks for their ratings are your tank. They all need to walk. Imagine if the big names at Fox are just like, all right, we're severing our contracts, whatever we have to do to sever our contracts. We're doing that. We're going to lose the money. They can afford to do it if they wanted to. They're not like me. They're not like
$20 million. If you wanted me to leave for $20 million, where's the door?
Man, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. 22 grand.
Somebody said his contract was $20 million. Don't quote me on that. I didn't see the contract, but
I would think it'd be higher than that. But
remember O'Reilly? O'Reilly's was $20 million too.
Yeah, but O'Reilly left in disgrace, so that was completely different. But here, let me show you a clip of what all those parents were, what they were. Not so much what they were protesting, but sort of the ideology that they're working against within the school. So once everybody got into like this auditorium or whatever, and they finally got to speak at this event, these are some leftists that actually got to speak. Some unhinged leftists that are in Glendale, California. So it was Greg Price on Twitter.
Dear School Board, I want to say thank you for your service to this community. As a father of three, having a child in the school system since 2008,
father of three,
you and your predecessors for helping to create an inclusive, diversified learning environment which allows our children to thrive.
Is he in heels?
They're not being
He's in heels, a skirt, like these orange leggings, these knee-high socks with like a green stripe at the top, got a purse on. Yeah, this is happening.
My children are about the KKK and white nationalism, they're not being indoctrinated into cowboys. So my children are about my community, the LGBTQIA+, they're not being indoctrinated. No ideologies. Our children are being educated, and thankfully there are some parents that are more concerned about high honest and ideology is the same as the Proud Boys.
It's the snapping that they do. You know what I mean? Oh! The beatnik snapping, like at the coffee shop poetry hour. Oh, it drives me insane.
He looks ridiculous.
He looking like a man.
No, we don't hate you. It's about the children are hiding their hate behind their children, just as Proud Boys hide behind their masks. So thank you again for your service to our community. And know that actual community members, actual parents, actual business owners, actual volunteers, and actual elected officials are here to say thank you and support you and love you.
Unhinged much?
What was his point?
I don't
Besides
know.
to go up there in his outfit and show off his outfit? I mean, I didn't understand his point. Did he have a point?
No, they never do. You don't. Come on. What? Why you really? I'm surprised. I'm disappointed in you right now. You know they never have a point.
I work really hard on those 3-minute speeches. So I make it. I have a point.
No, oh yeah, that's fair. I get it. That would be triggering to me too. Because yeah, you. How much time? How much work would you say? Like, how many hours would you put into like a 3-minute presentation that you're going to go up there and do? Every word.
You know what? I'm a believer. Actually, my cross fell off today, but it comes to me. Most of what the work I do is put on my heart. You're not, so I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But it's whatever they need me to say. It's usually parents asking me to speak, or there's an issue that needs to be addressed, and I just it comes out of me, and I nuance it a little bit. Take me that long, but
you don't do you don't write out like a word for word pre-written thing though.
I will sometimes do that when I need to quote statutes or something, so I don't forget the statute. But it's a message. I just say the message, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard. And on the flip side, if I don't have any message, it's really hard, right? If there's nothing really to say. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for example, in Carmel, they promoted this thing called the Safe Schools Project, which sounds lovely, right? Mm-hmm. It turned out it's promotion of medical mutilation of children. It was this big giant event with pizza and LGBTQ LMNO.
Cheese pizza?
Yeah, it was all supposed to come and hang out. And there was a puberty blocker hormone class. And in there, this teacher a doctor is actually standing up there, and I go in to listen. And it looked like in the room, it looked like parents probably dealing with kids who somebody has put the crazy idea that their gender is not their birth gender, right? And they don't know what to do. And they're headed towards puberty blockers and mutilation. So this doctor says, we're not going to use gender triggering words. We're going to call them bodies with testicles, bodies with testosterone. So we don't gender trigger. And I'm looking around the room and what? And then the conversation, person in the audience asks the question and says, because they were talking about puberty blockers and pumping kids in puberty full of hormones. And she said, well, what if my child can't have children after being pumped full of puberty blockers and hormones? And the doctor had the audacity to say, well, we need to reframe the definition of family. Adoption is a family. And then she goes on, and the conversation turns to money. And she says, I've been able to convince insurance companies to conduct chest surgery on bodies as young as 14. She just normalized cutting the tits off a 14-year-old girl like that, mm-hmm. Right? So I went in there and I told that story, and I threw in a couple, so-called medical professional. And it was all about putting the school district on notice that they had promoted that event that was called the Safe Schools Project. So, you tell a story, you make a point. I don't know. It just comes to me, if that makes any sense.
Well, they say it's not happening. They say this stuff's not happening. And I got plenty pulled up on that, and we're going to get into that too. But yeah,
they say it's not happening. I want to talk to the person who says it's not happening.
Well, there's people that say it's not happening, and then it's how everything else goes. First, they say it's not happening. Then they say, okay, well, it's only happening a little bit, and it's only in particular places. And then they say, okay, well, it's happening, and this is why it's actually good. Like, that's how it always goes every single time. Here,
okay, so Michael, okay, you want to do that? Can I read this really gross thing? Can I read it on the air? Okay.
Yeah.
So saying this is why it's good on that point. I'm at Roseville Joint Union High School, and they asked me to come speak. One of the parent, and I go and I be the big bad lawyer after this parent reads this. Now, this is an excerpt from the book, The Bluest Eye, which is in Roseville Joint Union High School District's curriculum.
Please.
Page 165. The little girls are the only things I'll miss. Do you know that when I touched their sturdy little tits and bit them just a little, I felt I was being friendly. I didn't want to kiss their mouths or sleep in the bed with them or take a child bride for my own. Playful, I felt, and friendly. Two of them, Doreen and Sugar Babe, they'd come together. I gave them mints, money, and they'd eat ice cream with their legs open while I played with them. It was like a party. And there wasn't nastiness. There wasn't filth. There wasn't any odor. And there wasn't any groaning. Just the little white laughter of little girls and me. There wasn't any look, any long, funny look, any long, funny Velma look afterward. No look that makes you feel dirty. That makes you want to die. With little girls, it's all clean and good and friendly. Doesn't that make you want to faint? So the parent reads this at the school board meeting. I stand up and I say, you're breaking all kinds of laws. This is porn. The English director stands up and tries to justify this by comparing it to Romeo and Juliet and saying, because there was a suicide scene in Romeo and Juliet, that book is fine. To your point.
That wouldn't even be the good argument for Romeo and Juliet. The good argument would be Juliet was only 14.
Right.
Like, what an idiot. Like, but
sick shit is in our schools. It is.
What age group did you say that was too?
What?
What was the youngest? What library was that in? Like, for what kids?
This is in K through 12 in the district.
That book, a kindergartner could have got that book.
Well, don't quote me on that. It might be in the English curriculum only. I'm assuming it's in the library as well. I'm pretty sure.
But to clarify, when Gavin Newsom says they're banning books, this is what he's talking about.
Okay, so Gavin Newsom, you want to go there? Gavin Newsom sent a letter on June 1st. And what he's doing is he's threatening school districts to say you can't ban things you disagree with, which is true. There's books in the library. There's one that has like the F word 98 times and it talks about BLM activism. You're going to have trouble with getting that out because the argument would be you disagree with BLM activism. It's not a crime to be a BLM activist unless you break the law. So that's his veiled threat. But what is really going on is this porn in the libraries, and you can, as a school district, get it out. Is that where you're going with this? I mean, he's trying to push diversity, equity, inclusion, gender, gay curriculum in our schools. And anybody who stands up to it, he's coming after them. And he's using the power of the Attorney General's office to do it. That's what these letters are.
Yes. No, I'm 100% with you. I know it. I know what's going on. But he's always attacking Ron DeSanctimonious. I'm sorry, I have to call him that every time now. At first I didn't like the name, and now it's sort of grown on me. He always attacks Ron DeSanctimonious about, he's banning books in the schools, and that's what Ron DeSanctimonious is taken out of schools. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm actually complimenting good old Ron DeSantis right there. I should stop calling him that.
Well, I mean, what people, I can see through what Newsom's doing because it's what he did in the beginning of this pandemic. The CDPH director, Aragon, sent a letter, the June 1st letter we're talking about, it's on our website, CaliforniaParentsUnion.com. Go to call to action. It's linked on our website if you want to see what I'm talking about. But the CDPH director, Aragon, sent a letter to every school district superintendent in the state of California and threatened them that if they didn't force mask, force test, force quarantine children, things would happen. Like you could be charged with a crime, your teacher credentials at risk, your insurance is going to be canceled, you're going to get sued, which are all legally untenable positions.
Well, they're doing the same thing to doctors.
They're doing it to doctors, but he's doing it. So back then when the scamdemic started, that he used the power of the health officer to do it. Now he's using the power of the top cop. And it's actually happening. In Temecula, did you hear about the board president that refused to have curriculum about Harvey Milk in his school district? Did you hear about the Temecula issue?
Well, you sent me that document.
Okay. Well, no, but there was a news story. There's news stories all over. The Epoch Times did a story. The president of the Temecula School Board said, "We're not."
Oh, you know what? I think I have it pulled up.
You have that?
It's an Epoch Times article.
Yeah, there was tons. I know that Michaela from Epoch Times did a story on it. But, sadly, everybody across the state, Michael, they missed the point. Because what happened after that president of the board said, we're not having Harvey Milk, who's a pedophile, we're not having his curriculum, we're not telling his story. After he said we're not doing that in our school district in Temecula, an attorney general named Michael Newman sent a letter over to Temecula demanding he justify that decision. And it's from the Office of Civil Rights, implying that he was being discriminatory against gay people. That scares the bejesus out of school board members. When the Office of the Attorney General is demanding you justify yourself, they're encouraging parents to file complaints with the California Department of Education, with the government. That is, is that fascism? What is that? That's unbelievable. It's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of power, and it offends me as an attorney.
It's definitely authoritarianism.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
That's absolutely what it is.
Michael, here's the thing. The educators need to understand, and I'm hoping educators are watching your show. The legislature, through the Constitution,
they're not.
Well, I'm going to send it across the state, but the legislature, through the Constitution, has delegated broad authority to school districts to do what they think is best in their communities for education. Okay. So if they want to ban curriculum, it's within their legal right to do it. Especially if it's vulgar and lewd and obscene. They need to understand that. So they have the law behind them to stand up against this attorney general who's trying to bully them into not banning books.
So what I don't get, and I know I'm 39 now, and I was in elementary school quite a long time ago, but my parents had to sign a permission slip for them to teach us sex ed when I was in 6th grade, I think. It was a week-long thing, and it was because we had to talk about the pee-pee, and parents had to freaking sign a form just so our teachers could talk to us about the pee-pee. And now it's they're talking about not only the pee-pee, but they're talking about places that the pee-pee should go that the pee-pee actually shouldn't go. And they're telling it to kids. It's insane.
Masturbating with vegetables was part of the Healthy Kids Act curriculum. Yeah. What they're doing is, unfortunately, it's rogue teachers, mainly. And I love teachers. Don't get me wrong. I love teachers. My husband was a 22-year educator, started as a teacher, became a principal. I love teachers. But it's rogue teachers who want to over-sexualize and groom our children and feed them this stuff. And they're doing it behind the parents' back. There's a movement to create parental rights notification policies in school districts because they're hiding this stuff from parents. So the world has changed. We're looking at the sky that's blue, and somebody's saying it's purple. And if you say it's blue, you're going to jail for 7 months now. That's the world we live in, Michael. Yeah.
There are 5 lights. No, it's full 1984. It really is. But is there do you know anything about test scores or overall has performance dropped since all this crap?
I think we're 48th. Somebody told me today, one of the senatorial candidates told me we're 48th in the nation. I'm not up on all those statistics. I can tell you that most kids are 2 to 3 years behind now because of the scamdemic. And I can tell you emotionally, I represent a great number of children that were emotionally traumatized from a lot of the conduct of educators who were bullied by the state into believing they had to do certain things, and they did horrible things to children as a result. So it's coming out. You could research it. It's so simple. This really damaged our children. And
yeah,
if
the
you think
data's coming out
about,
for sure.
and just, taking it back to this porn and this, the sex content, the LGBTQ, it is so mentally damaging to a child, and it's so developmentally inappropriate. I don't understand why any educator would participate in this, because they are the experts in what's developmentally appropriate for children. It is tragic. It's unbecoming an educator.
Because you got to listen to more James and Lindsay. It's
I know
they want to be accepted. It's this whole thing within academia, and everybody's scared to speak out. And they use with all their diversity, equity, and inclusion crap. It literally is Marxism, and they try to overcomplicate the most simplest things and use words and phrases that nobody understands to make it so when they're done explaining, they're like, wait a minute, I didn't get what he's saying. So they must be smarter than me because I didn't understand it. And the whole time it's actually, no, they were speaking nothing but commie gobbledygook, and you weren't meant to understand it. It's meant to confuse you. That's the whole design of all of it. It's sorry. All right. We're going to change gears.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, we're gonna change gears a little bit. I want to talk to you about AB 957. Do you know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to this stupid person talk. I don't like her. We're gonna go over here to Sarah Fields on Twitter. This
okay.
This is just who put out the tweet. The person that we're gonna actually watch. I don't know her name, but I don't like her. Hold on. Now I gotta find it.
Why don't you like her?
Because of what she's saying.
Mm.
Did I lose it? I'm sorry. I had the wrong one. Here we go. This lady, who is she? California Assembly Person Wilson, whoever she is.
Oh, this is her bill.
They need, whether it's based on their gender, whether it's based on how their studies are in school, it doesn't matter. Our children should be affirmed. And this is saying that you have to include gender affirmation as a part of that.
Oh, oops, sorry. I started at the end.
So this particular bill adds the very important factor that affirming a child's gender identity is in their best interest, which is what your question is about. Why does it actually say that in an affirmative way? And it really is because you have a 7-year-old who's talking about having a potential to say, being able to articulate that they believe that they are not the same gender as they are biologically, then it should be affirmed. And through care, it should be determined. And that's what we did with our own child. And that would give the ability for a parent who wasn't sure to affirm and get their child the care that they need to make that, so they can begin to articulate that determination. But by saying,
do you hear the language she's using too? A parent that wasn't sure. Doesn't that sound very similar to vaccine hesitant?
Yeah.
Wholesale, then you're essentially rejecting your child. And that is not in the best interest of a child. We should be affirming our children in every possible way and getting them whatever appropriate care they need, whether it's based on their gender, whether it's based on how their studies are in school, it doesn't matter. Our children should be affirmed. And this is saying that you have to include gender affirmation as a part of that.
So in her old age, she's going to sit down, drink too much, be filled with regret. Because
this particular bill adds a very important factor that affirming a child's gender identity is in their best interest, which is what your question is in their best interest.
Sorry, go ahead.
It is absolutely mentally damaging to affirm a delusional child. Do you affirm anorexia? Do you affirm?
But before we even get there, I need to ask you, am I understanding this correctly? Is this the state? Well, first of all, this person is tweeting, the Sarah Fields person is tweeting that under California's AB 957, a parent could lose custody for not affirming whatever their child believes regarding their gender. Conservatives in California need to get the above. Is that accurate? They can be removed?
Okay, so this is a bone of contention that I have with other lawyers who are getting publicity on this issue. I choose not to fearmonger. Okay. So
Okay.
what AB, and this is a narrative that's being pushed by people who are working with parents who have had their kids taken away and crazy judges. Okay. So let me break this down for you. AB 957 is to amend a law in the family code. When you have two parents that are fighting over custody or, education decisions of their children, you go and you can't agree. You go before a judge, and the judge's job is to make a decision that's in the best interest of the child. Okay. They make determinations on the health, welfare, and safety. That's the language in the law. It's
the state deciding what's in the best interest of the child.
It's a judge. Yeah. So technically that's the state, but you're fighting, you're getting divorced. You guys can't agree. You need an arbitrator. That's what family court is. So
family court is always rigged towards.
It's terrible. Our family court, our whole court system. I can tell you a story about how rigged our court system is. But the point is that there's a factor analysis. Think of it like, the scales of justice. So there's 5-6 factors. One of them is there substance abuse in the home? Does a parent, drink too much, do drugs? Is there a domestic violence situation? Is one person physically abusive, right? Then the court will start to weigh towards the parent. What they're doing here is in that specific context of custody battles in divorce, the court is to find that a parent who affirms a confused child with gender dysphoria is in their best interest. Okay. That doesn't mean that the judge is going to take your kid away. It means it's going to be part of the weighing of the decision of whatever's before the court.
Okay. So the question, what question I'm going to ask?
Go.
Well, you got two parents that are in the middle of a divorce, and maybe the divorce happened because the mom says, no, my son is a girl and I want to cut off his pee-pee and put him in dresses. And the dad says, no, you're out of your effing mind. And this is why we're getting divorced, and I'm taking my kid with me. And then the judge sides and says, nope, cut off the pee-pee.
Well, okay. So see how you just went straight for cutting off the pee-pee?
Yep.
Which is where gender dysphoria leads to, is cutting off the pee-pee. But where we are right now with AB 957 is we are in a divorce situation where we're determining custody and other things. We're not, the judge doesn't have the power to order the pee-pee to be cut off. That's not where we are.
Right. But he could side with the person that wants to cut off the pee-pee.
Let's just talk about, that's what the law says. That's what the context is. That's it. What could happen, and what people are histrionically running all over the state saying is happening, gonna happen. And I have a problem with that, because that's not what this says.
The case about the dad in Texas.
Well, no, wait. Let me get there. What they're saying is that, okay, here's a story, Adam, that was at the press conference at the Capitol. His girlfriend, didn't marry her, had bought his son, who's 4, a pink dress and tried to make him wear the pink dress. And the dad's like, we're not wearing a pink dress. The mom went to court, filed for custody, I think, petitioned for custody, petitioned for a restraining order, got a judge who's gay, sadly, biased gay, who has taken the kid away from his father. He cannot see him. He cannot talk about the pink dress. They ordered a gender assessment of a 4-year-old based on that judge.
I just want to put a sidebar in there and say, I know some based ass gays. Okay.
Well, no, I love gay people. I mean, I worked in Clinton's domestic peace corps. I built a 5-county housing system for people living with AIDS. My roommate was called Sissy Lala Faggot. I hung out in gay bars in college.
Whoa.
You can't call me homophobic. That's not the point. This judge ordered a gender assessment on a 4-year-old. Where is his rational brain? So that's what these people are afraid of, is that factor in that family law code is going to be used against parents who say, you're not putting a pink dress on my 4-year-old, and it is happening.
Or worse.
Okay. But when you take the leap of your kid could be taken away and you're going to be charged with abuse, the story I just told you is a situation of a really bad judge. That's not what's going to happen theoretically with this law. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you're trying to explain, but I have a rebuttal.
Go.
Like, I don't agree. Once you put the mechanism in place for something, it will ultimately happen. Like, it's like a whole debate with the death penalty. You know, like once the death penalty is there, it ultimately will be misused. Somebody will be put to death that's innocent.
Well, it is happening. So I burned my lasagna last week, fighting with CPS, and 5 officers showed up at my client's house.
That took a weird turn.
Yeah. No.
Tell me about this lasagna. Was it a
I'm
5-layer lasagna? Was it a homemade lasagna?
No. I was cooking dinner and I had to fight officers and CPS because my client had asked for an independent evaluation from his school, and he swore it was the school district doing it. It turned out it was a family member saying he didn't take his kids to the dentist and stuff like that. But so in these
CPS can get called on you for not taking your kids to the dentist.
You can file an anonymous. I don't want to arm. I hope you have good people watching, but you can file an anonymous complaint with CPS. It can be total horseshit. And if you're a mandatory reporter and you filed a false report, you're completely immune under the law. CPS comes in and crawls up.
All teachers are mandated reporters.
Yes,
all teachers.
Exactly. That's one of the tactics they used during the scamdemic for parents who didn't want to test their kids, is they threatened to call CPS. But my point, Michael, is that you're right. You bad things could happen for this. What I think is a better argument, okay? I think a better argument is this is creating a social norm in our society that it's a good thing to affirm confused kids.
Oh, yeah.
No child comes up with this gender questioning by themselves. None. There's no case. Somebody's putting that in their head. Crazy parent like that guy in the orange, or the Be Yourself Club, or whatever. No parent. What is in the best interest of a child questioning their gender is to get them mental help. Help and love. Get them out of that mindset.
No, I'm with you. I got the DSM-5 sitting right over here. But you asked about my audience. No, they are all super cool, and I should say hi to all the people in the chat right now. So Terry Wallace, Northside, Pete Grabber, how you doing? And then you got your homie Cassie Aluza. She I hope she's not talking to us.
Kasha, that's that's our legislative director.
Well, she's in the chat.
You said her name wrong. It's Kasha.
This is just insane. They are rewriting definitions of families. Also, California is in legislation. We don't have mother anymore, but a birthing person. Yeah, that I saw that too. And also did you see Johns Hopkins redefined lesbian to saying a non-man that is attracted to other non-men? Did you see that one? Oh, it's glorious. So a kangaroo that is attracted to other non-men is technically a lesbian.
You know what my favorite is you're a man and you say identify as a lesbian. So basically you're a heterosexual man. I mean, that's how stupid this is.
Well, no. Okay. So no, that brings up a whole other thing. So these guys aren't trans. These guys. Okay. So Dylan Mulvaney put out a video today that really made me, that you are not what you say you are. He puts out a video and talking about how sexy he is, like looking at himself, and oh my God, am I my type? Like basically saying I'm attracted to myself. So I think the DSM-6 is going to have a whole new classification of this. I'm not kidding. There's the people that get off on other people viewing them as a woman. They're still attracted to chicks, but other people viewing them as a woman, they get off on it like a sexual gratification type thing. And it's actually like dangerous because these are the guys that freaking wander into the locker rooms and spas and crap like that and try to share your spaces. And these are the guys that push the boundaries, and this isn't gender dysphoria. It's a different thing is what I'm saying. These dudes are dangerous. These dudes are freaking dangerous. No
balls in my stalls. Yeah, no balls in my stalls. So the trans
I like
flag.
That song. That's good.
The trans flag, I don't know if you know this, Michael, if I sent this to you or not, but the trans flag was started by a fetish pedophile. This guy was a Navy SEAL, I think, in the Navy. He was into women's underwear, sniffed his mother's panties, and apparently there's a whole set of fetish porn where men force other men dress in women's clothing and do the deed and then involve children. That's the guy that created the trans flag. So
yeah, somebody just told me, and I don't know if it's true. I just saw somebody said like that's what the baby blue and crap is on it or whatever. I don't know. That's
the what?
The baby blue, like the baby blue color in the trans flag. That's what somebody told me. It could be fake news. I always spread fake news. This is a conspiracy show.
Genevieve Gluck on YouTube. Go Google YouTube, search her. Her stuff is really good. She's gone down the rabbit hole of all this trans stuff.
Speaking of rabbit holes, have you ever gone down the Charles Manson rabbit hole?
No. Like what's like the murder? Are you
everything. Charles Manson, MK Ultra, freaking LSD, the 60s, Ted Kaczynski, all that crap. It's so deep. It is so absurd. There's this book that I'm absolutely obsessed with right now called Chaos by Tom O'Neill. It's just it's freaking insane. I'll talk to you about it later. It has nothing to do with this show, but I'm just obsessed with it right now. All right, here. I want to go to an article from Lives of TikTok to show you something really quick.
Oh, Lives of TikTok. Woo!
I'm so proud of her. She's just gotten so big. And now look at this is her own website. It's her own article here. So this is the title of the article: "Exclusive Whistleblower Exposes."
It's new. It's just this week too.
Yeah, it's from June 12th. So whistleblower exposes hospital for performing genital sex change surgeries on minors. Kaiser Permanente Healthcare Company, with others across the United States, issued a mandatory training course for all Kaiser employees in Southern California. The course covered topics of gender-affirming care, which included information on mastectomies, hysterectomies, vaginoplasties, phalloplasties. Internal documents indicate that these procedures are allowed to be performed on minors. The training also offered tips for proper binding and tucking.
This is criminal.
Yeah.
You're medically mutilating a minor. You psycho. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah. We're probably already kicked off of YouTube. I'm actually surprised we're still live on YouTube. This is I'm just, my show doesn't do well on YouTube anyway.
Why aren't you on Rumble?
I am. We're streaming live on Rumble, Twitter, and YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is criminal. I think these doctors' licenses should be revoked. I think everybody should go complain. It's criminal.
Yeah, I agree. The presentation began with an introduction on the platinum role. Someone is the gender they say they are when they say they are, regardless of the information of their transition process. This also emphasizes the gender-affirming surgeries or hormones are not necessary for one to transition. Essentially, Kaiser Medical is instructing its nurses to follow arbitrary guidelines rather than the science itself. This is the slide that they shared.
Doesn't surprise me. It's Kaiser. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it's not just Kaiser. It's Kaiser, Johns Hopkins, Boston's Children's Hospital, which I have another. So that, I mean, you get the gist from that article. I don't really need to read much more, but yes, that's happening. And
where are the parents? What are the parents thinking? I mean, I know most of this stuff, like giving butt plugs to your 6-year-old is virtue signaling because it's cool, especially if it's in a rainbow color. But what the parents are allowing 14-year-old girls to cut their breasts off?
White liberal moms, yeah. Where a father isn't in the picture, or the father has been likes to sit in the cuck chair.
I can't relate.
I'm glad. I
cannot. I want them in jail. I can't relate. It's absolutely insanity. And you know what you need to remember, what your audience needs to remember, is this starts with an idea that comes from a twisted adult or TikTok or whatever, that you can stop it. You can stop it from getting that far if you nip it in the bud at the idea and get them help. And the part that makes me the most angry, Michael, is it's working, this indoctrination, this twisted gender fad is working on our most vulnerable kids, our special needs kids, our traumatized kids, our kids who've been raped by their dad and they don't want to be a girl because they don't want boys to want to rape them. It's makes me want.
What about the moms that are, they got toddlers, they can't even talk yet, and they're like, my kid's gay or my kid's trans or whatever, and you're like, that kid doesn't have a chance.
Oh, my 4-year-old needs to wear a pink dress when he's a boy. Adam's kid.
These kids don't have a chance.
It's
well, on that note,
CPS should be taking the kids away when you do that. Taking the kids away for people who put 4-year-olds in a pink dress, but our society's backwards.
Here's another story out of California. This is from the Daily Mail. So, title on this headline on this article is called "Mutilating Children for Profit." California teen sues doctors over breast removal surgery at 13 in Kaiser Permanente. The same, just talking about Kaiser earlier, right?
Good. I'm glad they're suing them.
Second blockbuster trans lawsuit. So, a California teenager has started to sue doctors who, at age 13, cut off her breasts in a medical gender change she now bitterly regrets in America's latest blockbuster trans lawsuit. The 18-year-old, who referred to as Layla Jane, said she should never have been put through the torment of testosterone hormones at 12 and puberty blockers and surgery the next year. So it's not just that they cut off her tits; they freaking put her on puberty blockers at 12. So is she even ever going to be able to have kids?
She's never going to be able to have an orgasm. This is not funny. I mean,
I know.
This is sick shit, Michael. And I want to know who allowed this to happen.
The parents. It's the same parents that are taking their kids to drag shows and like, yay, taking their like. It is like a form of mass brainwashing that's going on right now. It's this ESG Trojan horse that's coming in. It's the equity in the diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that equity isn't equality, because the equity doesn't include you and me. It's happening.
Yeah. And again, kids don't think of this stuff themselves. It's ideas being put in their heads by other people, and it's one of the dangers of social media. If I could give any advice to younger parents, keep your kids off social media till they're in high school at the earliest. I lasted till middle school. And what pushed me over the edge is, it's safer if she has a phone. I wish I would have waited till high school. So they're getting these ideas from somewhere else. And it's our responsibility as parents to stop it, get them in therapy. So,
I think the fortunate thing is that even the kids are pushing back now. It's become like mainstreamed. So now it's like, it's mainstream, so it's not cool anymore. The kids don't. The kids are just like, I'm sick of this. Like, get it out of here. You saw the first video I played. It's like, here we go again.
I'm so proud of those kids. When it was the masks and the testing and the quarantining, who was standing up? It was the littles. It was like the little elementary kids, because they weren't worried about what their friends thought. Very rarely did you see a high schooler stand up and lead. I mean, I represented a couple of high schoolers who said, screw this. But it was the little kids, because they're not worried.
So I'm
proud of them.
Do you remember like the time period when everybody could get the vaccine, but the age was like 13 or something was like the lowest age they would let you take it, whatever that age was. And they said that, so those kids still had to wear masks. Do you remember that time period?
Yeah.
That whatever gap in time that was. So during that time period, I went out to, I don't know if you know, Quicksilver Almaden Trails in San Jose.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've never been on them, but I've heard of them.
It's like
you're a trail runner.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest county parks in California. It's a giant county park. And I was out there doing, I think, like an 18-miler or a 20-miler. It was a long run. And I was far in, probably like 5 or 6 miles in. And when you're that far in, the only way you can usually get there is, 4 or 5 miles in. So like if you're there, you're putting in work. So I come across coming just the exact opposite direction, a mom and her kid. This is like we're out in the beating sun. It's late spring. It's probably this time of year. It's probably like exactly 2 years ago. So it's, easily 85, 90 degrees. Kids were in an N95. He's like 11 years old.
Oh,
Mom doesn't have a mask on.
Michael,
I stopped dead in my tracks and like I didn't say anything, but I like stopped and looked at her and like and continued running, you know, like yes, I was so mad. And the kid was clearly like, you know, like probably didn't want to be running in the first place. Kids don't want to go running.
yeah, that's child abuse.
Yeah.
And during the scamdemic, when we would walk down the street in Carmel and I would see a mask on a kid and I would say something to the parent, you realize that's child abuse. And my husband would walk really fast ahead of me. You know, and parents, the reactions.
Your husband's probably right there with you now, though, huh? Your husband.
Well, now he just sits back and he's like, "Can I have another? You know, I'll have a cocktail, please."
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I have a visceral reaction seeing kids in masks. It's child abuse. Within 3 minutes of wearing those things, you're damaging your hippocampus and which creates the basis for degenerative disease like Alzheimer's. So I'm not looking forward to 20 years from now to see what happens to some of our kids, the brain damage and that kind of thing. Yeah. Ugh. That's a horrible story. So I was at a gym, camp something. And I would walk in the gym and they would try to stuff hand sanitizer on me, make me stand in a little circle, try to make me wear a mask. I never wore a mask ever. Try to make me put on a mask to go over to pick up weights. And it was 20 somethings. And I wanted to, no offense to 20 somethings, but I wanted to smack them. I'm like, I'm 52 years old. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I got so sick of it that I quit the gym and I started running like you. I started running out here by the church. And there are people out there wearing the mask, walking their dogs. And it would make me so friggin' angry. I stopped running. And I gave up all exercise for like 6 months, which was really hard.
I have an ultra running friend who I freaking love her. She's awesome. She's great. We get along great. I've run, like I could barely keep up with her. She's an absolute badass.
Really?
But she's a super lib. And she, during the peak of this, she would run in N95s, like full on run in N95s. And this isn't like, and she's not dumb. She's like a super smart person. She's smarter than me. Like I guarantee you she's got a higher IQ than me. And yes, and she's like super badass. I'm talking a Western States runner. Like if you got into Western States, you're a badass.
That's a big deal.
And yeah, so I'm not going to put her on blast and say what she is, but yeah, she was running N95s. So
Michael, I had an 11-year-old client who was wearing a mask during PE, was running, passed out, and cracked his head against a pole.
Hypoxia.
Yeah, that she's crazy. She was risking her life.
She probably ran in races. I still see people on the trails in masks, and I'm still picking up masks out of the freaking creeks, and it drives me so crazy. Here, back on topic really quick. So
okay.
if you just go to any search engine and type in Boston Children's Hospital vaginoplasty. So think about those two things together.
That's what I'm going to do.
Boston's Children's Hospital over here in this room, and then you have vaginoplasty over here in a different room. And you'd think that those rooms are supposed to stay separate, but if you Google
vaginoplasty,
if you Google that phrase together, it brings you to Boston Children's Hospital. What is vaginoplasty? I should say very clearly, it says on their website in bold, to qualify for vaginoplasty at Boston Children's Hospital, you must be at least 18 years old to meet certain criteria. Criteria.
Click. What is that? Are you on the webpage? What's the criteria?
Click on criteria.
What's the criteria? Is it really a webpage? You can't click. Oh, you can.
Yeah, it's going.
Center for Gender Surgery. Gross.
All right. So please note, scheduling of patient procedures depends on a number of factors, including your health, insurance, authorization process.
Can you pay for it?
Exactly. They want to create lifelong patients. when you are initially seen and other individual needs. We strive to schedule patients equitably. You see that? You see that word right there that they slip in there? We strive to schedule patients equitably and ethically to maximize efficiency and provide the best possible care to everyone. Once you know what to look for, you see it freaking everywhere.
Right, exactly.
It's an agenda. Center staff cannot discuss any information about other patients, including scheduling of procedures. Surgery is never the first step in gender transition. First, we got to make sure that you can pay for everything for the rest of your life. It is something that happens after you have already explored social and medical transition options. People who choose to undergo surgery usually do so after taking other steps in the gender affirmation process, such as taking supplemental hormones. So before you cut off your pee-pee and turn it into a fake hole that you have to keep open with a device for the rest of your life that can get hair that grows inside of it, please note, you cannot smoke, vape, cigarettes, marijuana. Oh, God. A letter from a medical doctor or nurse practitioner stating that you have a persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria and special length of hormone therapy. A letter from your regular therapist stating that you have persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria, that any significant mental health concerns are well controlled, and that you have been living full-time in your identified gender for at least 12 months. So are they saying that
they're making you try it on for 12 months?
Patients who want to pursue chest surgery must be at least 15 years old and have the following. I read this on a different stream. A letter from a medical doctor or nurse practitioner stating that you have persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria and specifying either the length of hormone therapy or why you're not taking hormone therapy. So even if you're not on it, they still cut off your tits. A lecture, all you have to do is say, yeah, I'm a dude. Yep. Freaking yeet the teats. There was that doctor that used to say yeet the teats. It's like she was literally a thing that she would say. She's so proud of it.
Eat the teats? Yeet the teats?
Yeet. Y-E-E-T. It's a phrase that people use. It's get yeeted. Like it's this phrase if you get shot and killed. It's something the hip kids say.
Oh,
a letter. Yeah, okay. Yeet the teats. Just chop them off. That's what she was saying. Horrible person. A letter from a mental health provider stating that you have the capacity to consent and that any significant mental health issues are being addressed.
Yeah, so, the mental health issue of the fact that you wanted to cut your teats off.
Right.
Now it's not being addressed because you're there to do it.
You gotta be 15, Tracy, because clearly if you're 15, you can't get a tattoo until 3 years later, but we'll cut your tits off.
I can't even. Michael, I can't even respond. People are crazy.
Like, all right. So they're saying this isn't happening. This is Boston Children's Hospital website. This is children'shospital.org/programs/center-gender/surgery/eligibility-surgery. This is not. This isn't a conspiracy.
You're not
theory.
making it up.
So chop your kids' tits off, guys.
This isn't funny. We shouldn't be laughing.
It's clown world at this point. Like, what can you do?
It is. It's unbelievable. I mean, I just don't even know what to say, except it's criminal, and those people should go to jail.
Oh, it's. I mean, and how many other hospitals are doing it? The ones that are just being put on blast right now are Kaiser, Boston Children's Hospital, Johns Hopkins, and I don't know who else. But
yeah, it's money. It's money. They don't care. It's just like the jab kills people, and was never FDA approved, but they kept doing it for money. Money.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. All right, I got one more. We're gonna try to change gears a little bit. So this is something that's going around about the schools that I don't know. I don't know if you've heard about this. Maybe you can tell me about the school lunches. You know anything about the school lunches? This is like the hot topic today that Gavin Newsom's, saying the Republicans are going after the lunches. Tracy, you know anything about this?
Republicans declare banning universal free school meals a 2024 priority.
Yeah. So wait, can you? So this is from Josh Bacan. I don't want to say that. Oh, be careful there.
Bacanegra?
Oh, what'd you say? Whoa.
I said negra.
Hard R.
Negra.
Careful there.
Negra.
Be careful there, Tracy.
Oh, come on.
You're gonna end up on Tower.
Josh Homey. What do you want me to do with that name?
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna call him Josh B for now. But he's running. He's running.
Got kicked off YouTube now because they said Baca Negra.
Probably. Who cares? It's fine. Fuck YouTube. Wait. Sorry, Shelly. Earmuffs. I apologize. It's just as my mom. She doesn't like when I curse. Wait.
You watching? Hi, Mom.
Yeah, she watches.
You got a great son. He's amazing. You did a good job.
You don't have to lie. She does. Wait, can you believe this? Republicans declare banning universal free meals a 2024 priority. I'm not making this up. While many states like California, Colorado, Maine, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Vermont are moving to provide universal free school meals to all children, Republicans are actively trying to stop it. CEP allows certain schools to provide free school lunches regardless of the individual eligibility of each student, they argue. The Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, a meal service program, enables schools predominantly serving children from low-income backgrounds to offer all students a free breakfast and lunch. Who'd want to eliminate that? Republicans, apparently. But what do you think? Is this the future we want for our children? Do we want to deny them the basic right to a school meal? Help me spread the news about this. Blah, blah, blah. Thoughts?
So I would venture to bet that that's not the truth, the true narrative. I mean, what's the truth? Do you know what the truth is?
I haven't looked into it too much, but I will say that, I mean, I always brought my lunch to school. I grew up poor. I grew up poor as hell. And I always brought my lunch or just didn't eat lunch. High school, my dad gave me $3 for lunch every day. And it wasn't really enough for much. Yeah. But, and like the school food was disgusting. Nobody wanted the school food. It was disgusting. It was slop, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what this lunch program is, but you know, if their food's anything like the education that they're putting out, I don't know if I want my kid eating that.
Well, you know, the thing is, to toot the horn of the Black Panthers for a second, they started with this whole free meal food thing for kids because, you know, in the Black community, you've got a lot of single moms. It's just the true culture. And the reason I know this is my husband was principal of a high school over in Oakland. But the kids are eating sugar for breakfast if you don't feed them. And then they're bouncing off the walls and they've got behavior problems. So this is actually, I mean, for truly poor people, this is actually a really big deal. I would object to this.
Yeah, I ate like cinnamon rolls for breakfast.
Yeah, that's exactly probably why, you know, did you get in trouble a lot?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you were bouncing off the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, it's like they put me on Ritalin, and all they had to do is just take me off cinnamon rolls.
Exactly. So if this is true, I vote for Boca Negra.
Oh, so you are pro schools providing lunches for the kids?
If you're truly poor, yeah, because the kids need nutrition. And when you're poor or you're a single mom working 12-hour shifts, the kids are eating sugar. They're taking that $3 you got from your dad and going down to 7-Eleven and eating Slurpees and Snickers bars for breakfast. And then they're coming and trading guns on the campuses, you know, because they think it's funny. So, yeah, I'm actually for free food in schools, but I hope people don't abuse it.
I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't know. I didn't put too much thought into it, but it is a hot topic that people seem to be talking about today,
really,
so.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, thought you might have an opinion on it, but
there you go.
I don't know. I say bring your own lunch.
So I was on a plane heading to a court appearance in San Diego, I'd say 2 weeks ago, and I was sat next to a producer, and he was doing really cool stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but he told me, he said, we started talking about social media. He said, social media is probably where you're getting this stuff is crack. And why it's really crack is because the algorithms start figuring out what your pain points are, right? So for me, it would be, you know, the teachers giving porn to kids. And so it starts sending all of that and then it gets you engaged and keeps you there for 3 hours. She's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So the algorithm is designed to keep you addicted to the social media crack. Can you believe that?
You are like running my show tonight, because you're creating the like most perfect segues, because
Am I really?
Well, who introduced this algorithm that you speak of that is meant to just show you doom and gloom that keeps you more engaged than, say, puppy videos? You know, because you can only sit on the toilet and watch puppy videos for so long. But you can sit on the toilet and watch doom and gloom forever. You know, but where did that come from? It came from Facebook, right, Mr.
Oh, really?
Mr.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, Mr. Zuckerberg over here. That's the algorithm to keep you engaged. So
I was thinking it was more what's the connection between Instagram and Facebook? Because
the same. The Meta.
Okay.
Zuckerberg owns Facebook. I'm sorry. Zuckerberg owns Instagram and Facebook.
I hate Facebook.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook since 2016. I don't think. I am on Instagram though.
So California Parents Union has a Facebook-like social media community inside the membership lounge. We have one that's censorship-free. I'm banned on Facebook right now for 2 more days.
What?
Yeah, I'm banned. It's only 5 days this time. I've been banned for 30 before. Because I think it's because of this graphic. I don't know if you can see this, Michael, but I created a graphic. No, you're not gonna. Are you gonna be able to see it? Kind of, sort of, not really. Maybe no. Okay, so basically, see how it says oppose AB 957?
Yeah.
And then it says failure to affirm is not child abuse. Stop the lies. Because they're trying to say failure to affirm is child abuse. So my graphic says it's abuse to affirm a confused child's delusions. It's neglect to fail to get a child mental health support. It's endangerment of a child when you feed them life-altering puberty blockers. It's abuse when you willfully put a child at the risk of medical mutilation. Medical mutilation is a crime. And this is all about oppose AB 957. So I think that's what got me kicked off Facebook, because I flipped it. Flipped the narrative.
It's so disturbing on so many levels, because they're doing so many different horrible things to these kids. It's like several different types of physical body mutilation, and then it's the psychological crap that they're doing to these kids too. And yeah, it's genuinely disturbing. I'm actually trying to get crap, I'm blanking on her name right now. The girl from California that's gone pretty viral that detransitioned. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Chloe Cole?
Chloe Cole, yeah. I'm going to try and get her on my show.
Well, Erin Friday she's really leading the narrative in the state on this. She's our duty. She's a lawyer. She's amazing. I will see if Erin will help you get her, because Erin's connected to all those detransitioners.
Okay. Well, I was just going to DM her on Twitter. It's been working.
People are on it? That's good.
Yeah, people respond. It's funny. Yeah.
Tucker's not responding to me. I want him to come on your show. I want to talk to him again.
I feel like I might have like a single beacon that I could send out to Tucker, because I have like, I don't ever want to use that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Wait until you. Yes.
Unless I got something that is huge. Because yes, I do have. I don't know if I wouldn't say I have a direct line to Tucker, but I think I could get Tucker's ear if I really wanted to.
Well, wait till it's important. You know.
Yeah, I have nothing to talk to him about right now. Hey, Tucker, watch my show.
He's busy making his own show. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Zuckerberg, the evil algorithm man that you so eloquently spoke of just now, the one that keeps us engaged with doom and gloom, because, well, like much like the Hunter Biden laptop and all the other crap that they suppressed during COVID, there was during the election, there was all the COVID crap that they suppressed that you'd get kicked off of YouTube, kicked off of Facebook, kicked off of wherever if you tried to share stuff. So here, listen to Zuckerberg talking about his reasoning behind it. Here, this is
Really?
This is from Kenneco the Great on Twitter. So Mark Zuckerberg says it was challenging to censor COVID misinformation because the scientific establishment was frequently wrong, which ultimately undermined public trust. And then he quotes him, but we'll just watch the video here.
Okay.
So misinformation, I think, has been a really tricky one because there are things that are kind of obviously false, right? That are maybe factual, but may not be harmful. So it's like, all right, are you going to censor someone for just being wrong? It's, if there's no kind of harm implication of what they're doing, I think there's a bunch of real kind of issues and challenges there. But then
that's not what he said. He said factual stuff, and it was factual stuff. Remember, they would say if it promotes vaccine hesitancy, then they're going to suppress it, which meant, oh, hey, people are having vaccine side effects. Oh, hey, ivermectin seems to be an effective treatment for COVID. There's evidence to support this. And if that's the case, the emergency use authorization never should have been given in the first place. So, like, all of this stuff was suppressed.
Why are they suppressing any speech? Facebook's a posting app. Like, this is dumb. Like, he looks like an idiot. He's justifying ridiculousness.
Yeah. Oh, it gets more ridiculous. It gets more ridiculous here.
Define a
I think
woman.
there are other places where it is, just take some of the stuff around COVID earlier on in the pandemic where there were, real health implications, but there hadn't been time to fully vet a bunch of the scientific assumptions. And, unfortunately, I think a lot of the kind of establishment on that, kind of waffled on a bunch of facts and, asked for a bunch of things to be censored that in retrospect ended up being.
The establishment asked for stuff to be censored. He just said it right there. They're not allowed to do that.
Nope. And he went. What's Michael? What's amazing about this is there was a period of time where you dare say Facebook was censoring, and people would be like, "You're crazy." Now it's like,
no, dude, you're saying exactly what I said at the beginning of the episode. First, they say it's not happening, and then they say, "Oh, well, it's only happening a little bit," and then they say, "Oh, well, it's happening, and this is why it's good." Every time, every freaking time. Watch the pedophilia shit. I'm telling you, the maps, the normalization of the maps and crap right now. The minor attracted persons.
Yeah, minor attracted.
That's what they're doing right now. They're saying, no, that's not happening. We're in the no, that's not happening phase right now with minor attracted persons. That's where we're at with it right now. Wait until it's at, oh no, it's only happening, and it's only happening a little bit, and this is why it's not that big of a deal. Right? That's maybe a year and a half off. We're about 3 years off from this is why pedophilia is actually a good thing. Somebody's going to clip that.
The only thing I can say to that is the Romans apparently groomed children and then made them perform sex acts. So there's historical precedent for it. I mean, that's all I got. It's sick. It's sick. It's alive in everywhere.
It's so much worse than people think. Like now, like the Pizzagate stuff, because people are revisiting the Pizzagate stuff, the Podesta crap, like stuff that it was all debunked as conspiracies. That was like certainly debunked as conspiracies. People are revisiting those things now and being like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
yeah.
No, that Comet Pizza did have a basement. Did you know?
I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Honestly, it's so sick and twisted, and anybody who supports it is a freak. I can't. There's no justification for pedophilia. Sorry, you need to be castrated.
Yeah, but there's a huge. Like, are we going to pretend that Epstein didn't happen? Are we going to pretend that Sandusky didn't happen? Are we going to pretend that Hollywood isn't the thing? Like, this isn't like a minor thing. There's like man, remember when it used to be a conspiracy to say that it was a bunch of elites that were engaged in a large underground human trafficking ring? Remember when that was a conspiracy?
Yeah. Now it's out in the open. Yeah.
Well, it's not out in the open now. Like two people went to prison. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted for human trafficking, but we don't know to who. And JP Morgan Chase, right? Didn't they just have to pay millions and millions to the victims because of their money washing of JP Epstein's or Jeffrey Epstein's money?
Oh, I missed that verdict. Really? I'm gonna go look at that. Chase debanked me. Chase is woke as the day is long. That
they debanked
great.
you.
They debanked me.
What do you mean?
They kicked me out of the bank because I'm a conservative and I wouldn't wear a mask. They literally debanked me. My husband,
they hold on. They kicked you out physically and then they like extra your account?
My husband and I, there's a breakfast spot in Carmel where you have to pay cash. It's Katie's. It's awesome. And he goes to get cash at the local, because we were bankers of Chase, we're customers. And he comes, looks at me, and he's got this funny look on his face. And he's like, honey, I can't get any cash. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we got to call customer service. Our accounts are frozen. They're shutting them down. I'm like, what? So we go to the Chase Bank. 3 hours later, my husband lost it. They shut down our accounts. They wouldn't give us any money. Luckily, one of the accounts was in only my husband's name, and it was me that they were shutting down. So we got to have our breakfast, but it turns out that one day during the scamdemic, and I remember I've never worn a mask. So my cleaning, I need to go get money for my cleaning lady. So it's early in the morning. I'm in my jammies. I just run over to the ATM really quick to get money, and the ATM doesn't give me my $200. So I'm standing outside my jammies, and I have to, get my $200. So I knew everybody in the bank. So I knocked on the window, and the bank manager Nazi over at the Carmel Rancho Chase comes over to the window with her mask on behind a giant piece of glass. She's like, I said, ATM ate my $200. ATM ate my $200. And she's like, and I finally figured out she's saying we don't open until 9. Go to the front door. So I'm standing out in the front of the bank in my jammies on a busy street in Carmel. Okay. And I really don't care, but I was pissed by this point. So I'm getting my frustration out by writing a nasty Yelp review of Carmel Bank while I'm waiting for them to open the doors. And some woman walks up to me and she taps me on the shoulder and says, you have to let me in. I said, what are you talking about? And the bank manager standing there again behind the door with her mask on. And she's like, you have to let me in. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's got the keys. You tell her to let you in. What are you talking about? And they wanted me to move 6 feet back while we're standing outside. I'm like, I basically said, fuck you, and went back to my Yelp review. It gets worse. So I'm standing there. I'm like, it's 9:02, and I start knocking on the door. Security guard comes out, shuts the door, and he says, miss, you have to be nice to them or they're not going to help you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I need to get my money to pay my cleaning lady. Well, what are you talking about? He's like, you better be nice when you go in or else they're not going to help you. I'm like, what did they say? You're going to be mean. I'm like, let me in. I'm like, literally, this is crazy bank manager. It gets worse. So I go to the teller in my jammies. So now I'm inside the branch with everybody in my jammies. And I said, the ATM ate my money. I need my $200. And the teller starts talking to me. And the bank manager, the Nazi with the mask, comes up behind me. And she starts saying things to me. And I'm like, and she says, you shouldn't, don't you talk. What do you, I'm like, you started talking to me, you 2-year-old. And I was so flustered that I walked out of the bank and I left the $200 on the counter. Here comes the security guard after me. He's like, your money. I'm like, can you please just go bring that to me? I don't want to go back in there. And he's like, I can't, I'm sorry. So I had to go back in there with my tail between my legs, in my jammies.
People just wanted to create, like, people got off on telling other people what to do during the pandemic. Like, if they were given like a modicum of power and they just went absolutely bananas with it. You saw the absolute most insane behavior from people during all of this crap.
Yeah, then Chase sent me a letter and shut my accounts down.
Have you considered leaving California?
No.
No, you haven't even considered it.
We did leave for 6 months. We did. When early 2021, we left to Utah. That's what kicked me off. When I went there, I started working with Utah Parents United because for the first time, I saw kids sitting in desks 3 feet apart with masks on. And it was a horror flick to me. I'd never seen that before because all our kids were on Zoom. And it just snapped. Started me on my journey in Utah. But no, I wouldn't. We need to fight. If we leave, Michael, could you imagine what's going to be left in California?
Well, I mean, the thing is, they're breaking people, Tracy.
Yeah,
like
they are.
And they're not going to break me, but they might force me out of here. It's bad. That's why I just put my give, send, go up on the screen. If you guys enjoy the show and you want to contribute and help me not go homeless, that's where you can actually help me out there. And I actually like the give, send, go because you can see how much money the show has earned since its conception. They're already on episode 32, but so they are trying to break the middle class, Tracy, and turn them into homeless and make people dependent on the state or leave. And unfortunately, I might have to leave. Like I can't get a job. I legit. Okay, I don't know if I don't want to defame anybody, so I'm not going to try to do that here. But I feel like somebody that may have an axe to grind with me that is connected to very powerful people because they had very powerful clients whose homes I may have been in might have put out a call to people that are within a certain industry that won't ever hire me because I've sent my resume out to at least 100 different places now, and I get declined I can't get an interview. Like, the union seems to be my only option.
So wait, you're saying somebody has basically put the word out and had you blacklisted?
I'm saying that's what it appears, that's what it feels like. Unless the jobs market is so bad that I can't even get an interview. With 18 years experience in my field, I've worn every hat you could possibly wear in my field, and I have great letters of recommendation, clean driving record. Like,
why don't you target companies that are not woke?
That's the thing in my industry. It's the company the company I worked for wasn't woke. The clients are. The clients around here, you're going into the richest of the rich people around here into their homes.
Yeah.
Those are the wokest of the woke.
Yeah.
I'm blacklisted from the residential AV industry. So commercials like my only way to get back in. So that's why I'm like on a list in the union. Thing is, when I get a union job, I'm making 110 grand a year. It's just I gotta wait for a freaking union job, and I'm out of money. Like I don't have any runway left, and it's that simple. So I might just have to pack it up and leave. It's
Where would you go, Michael? Where would you go?
My car.
No, you said out of state. You said out of state.
Yeah, I mean Tennessee is what I'm looking at. Tennessee is the only place that I have a friend that I could go and maybe, he can help me find a place and all that kind of crap.
Find a job there, kind of thing. What about hanging a shingle and just start doing your own AV work? Like put an ad out wherever you put ads out. Facebook, Craigslist. Do we do Craigslist anymore?
No. So I absolutely I could. Thing is, I started a podcast and I hate AV. I don't want to go work for people that hate me anymore.
So you need to monetize this. That's what you're saying. You need to monetize this.
Well, how many influencers are out there? Do you know who the Krasensteins are, for example? The Krasensteins, they're twin brothers. All these leftist social media influencers that are literally paid to just be online all day and stir up leftist crap and talk leftist talking points. Well, I'm like legit. This takes a ton of work. Just all the okay. So we're almost at exactly 2 hours right now. I've gotten the show down to like 2 hours on the dot. There's a lot that goes into this show, and I've learned so much. I've invested a decent amount of money in this show already. Like, and I love this. And so if I did figure out a way, like, okay, I have my bills covered with this show, that's all I really care about, I would then be able to like start doing side projects, because I want to go down to Santa Cruz and start getting footage of I want to do like an actual story on the homeless situation in Santa Cruz, because San Francisco gets all the attention. People have no idea how bad it is in Santa Cruz.
Oh,
like,
really?
There's projects that I want to work on. There's like actual reporting that I want to do. I've discovered like, oh, hey, I'm good at this and I like it. And yeah, so this is what I want to do. I want to work for you guys that are listening. Like it's also, it's hard to stay on social media all freaking day. Like, to be in Twitter spaces in order to be like, to get the information as it's coming out, like whatever the breaking stories are, all that kind of crap, you got to be in the Twitter spaces. You got to be checking what's trending. You got to be online all day. It's work. It's legit freaking work. And it can get super depressing. Like, I'm putting in way more hours doing this now than I was when I was doing AV. I'm putting in way more freaking hours, and it's not like me like dicking around on social media anymore. I'm on social media freaking working. Like, there's a goal, you know. It's so I love it.
So go to the Give Send Go. Come on, you can drop $50, $100. No big deal. 25, 50, 100 bucks.
Actually, that is kind of what I'm hoping for, guys. I'm kind of hoping, not from you guys that are listening right now. You guys that listen right now are freaking amazing. Terry Wallace, Pete Grabber, like some of you guys, I'm looking in the chat right now, like they legitimately do donate to it, and they are my biggest supporters. The people that are in the chat right now, they watch like every show, and they're freaking amazing. And I don't know why you guys like me. I genuinely don't. But they are freaking amazing, and they like genuinely want me to succeed. And I'm hoping that some, you know, there is people that like to just, you know, here's 10 grand. There's actual people out there that are like that, you know, and I'm hoping that somebody sees what I'm doing and is down with this culture war. And that's the thing too, Tracy. Where
are our conservative, you know, rainmakers? Because if George Soros is backing everybody and their mother, where's our George Soros?
Thank you. So, and another thing too about staying in California is the reason most people are leaving is because of their kids and stuff like that, because of the policies. Well, I don't have kids. I'm single. Let me stay in the trenches and fight. Like, if I can't, I'm dead serious. Let me stay here and go up against all these assholes. The bigger the show gets to, the more shitty looks I get everywhere I go. Like, people, I'm 6'6". I drive old ass cars. I'm loud as hell, and I freaking run everywhere, and I have dogs. Like, I'm noticeable. You know, I'm putting my shit on the line. I really am. No joke. And I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to fight all these assholes. I would love to make this my career. And like, let me go to war. Like, that's what I want to do. Let me stay in California and go to war against all these assholes. That's what I want to do.
Seriously, let's do it.
All right. Well, we'll end the show with this last thing. And this really bummed me out today. And it because I am considering leaving, because it's like it's starting to be my only option. But this bummed me out because it like cemented it that I am considering leaving. Scott Baio, man. Scott Baio. He left.
What?
Scott Baio left. Scott Baio sold his place.
Oh, no. He sold his house?
Yep. There he goes. Your last day. Goodbye, California. So Scott Baio said.
Where did he live in California?
I think Southern California. Calabasas, maybe. I'm not sure. But
wow.
Beautiful home. Yeah, so unfortunate. Everybody's bouncing. San Francisco's in a death spiral.
Well, at the AB 957 hearing, Wilkes, did you see Wilkes? He said, I used to encourage people to stay and fight. Now I encourage people to flee. If you have kids, flee.
I'm gonna need to make you my co-host, because I had that clip pulled up. We just don't have enough time to show it. I actually closed.
Are we on the same wavelength or what?
No, I have that clip pulled up. I just closed it down. Like I had it pulled up. I was going to play that clip after the other 957 clip that I played, but we didn't have time. So this show's, and I like to keep it right at 2 hours. So yeah, we did great. This was a great show. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Tracy? Where can people find you? Where should people go?
CaliforniaParentsUnion.com. Just join us. Help us get to 500,000 members so we can take down the teachers unions. That's it.
Awesome.
And I love you, Michael. Anything I can do, let me know. You want me
Tracy,
to
you're the best.
come on and co-host? Let's do it.
Yeah, no, but we end the show. So I don't know if you watch the show, but every show we have to end with a joke from the best book ever written. This is the truth about Chuck Norris. Okay, so I just open the book and I just pick a random joke, and we're gonna see what we got tonight. Okay, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. So I can't guarantee anything. So are you ready? All right, here we go. So Chuck Norris once defeated a laser beam in a 100-meter dash. And on that note, folks, stay CaliBased.